The next checkmate we're going to go over is called Blackburn's mate. In Blackburn's mate, we have one bishop that is controlling this long diagonal here in front of the other person's king, and the other bishop will give checkmate. For example, in this position, white should play the move bishop to h7, checkmate. Notice that the king can't go to g7 or h8 because of this bishop, and the king can't go to f7 because the knight here is protecting it. Let's take a look at this example. In this position, black already has his bishop lined up in front of white's king. It's black to move, and he wishes that this pawn on g3 wasn't there. If this pawn on g3 was not there, then he can play the move bishop to h2, checkmate. However, the problem is the pawn is on g3 right now, and we need to find a way to remove it. So black right now should play the move queen takes h4. After queen takes h4, he's threatening checkmate himself on h2. So if white takes on g4 to solve the problem, then okay, black can take on g4 as well. So black will be up a bishop, and he still has threats of queen h3 followed by queen g2 checkmate lingering. On the other hand, if white decides to take the queen, then immediately we have Blackburn's mate. Bishop takes h2 is checkmate. In this last example, we see that we already have a bishop lined up against black's king on c3. However, this bishop here doesn't look like it's going to give checkmate anytime soon. This pawn's in the way, and it really can't go to h7, so it seems like the b3 bishop's out of the picture. However, it turns out that not all hope is lost. The best idea here is to play the move queen to f7 check. It turns out that white has 1, 2, 3 defenders on the f7 square, on the f7, and black only has 2. So what eventually happens is that we end up, after all these moves, we end up getting a bishop on f7 at the end. We notice that the king now actually can't go to g7 or h8 because this bishop eliminates squares, and of course h7 is not only controlled by the knight, but also covered by his own pawn. So here we actually still have Blackburn's mate. The bishop here controls the g7 and h8 squares, and we swoop in with this bishop to give checkmate. Let's just take a look at this one more time. So first we recognize that this bishop is blocked by this pawn over here, so we need to find some way to get the pawn to f7 if possible. This leads us to think that maybe queen to f7 might work. So let's try queen f7 check. If bishop takes, then e takes, and if queen takes f7, which is forced, then now we can play bishop takes f7. That's checkmate. Though Blackburn's mate may not be that common, it's also a good pattern to know, especially for beginners who are looking to checkmate with pieces that are not only the queen or the rook. The bishop is also a very powerful piece and can be used for checkmate, especially when the king is exposed.